What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're pretty much going to be going over the James Harden situation in Houston and why I personally think it has gone way too far. Before we start, I just want to welcome back everyone to the channel, and if you're new, please make sure to like and subscribe as it would really mean a lot. I am also hosting a jersey giveaway to give back to you guys for all your recent support, so make sure to stick around to find out how you could win yourself a jersey. With all that being said, let's jump right into today's video. So as you probably know, James Harden has been all over the news and pretty much all over social media in the past few weeks. None of the news has been particularly positive either. Ever since the Houston Rockets traded away Russell Westbrook in exchange for John Wall, let's just say there were some incidents. Well, let's just say quite a few incidents. You see, it all started off when Harden missed training camp unannounced and was spotted at multiple strip clubs in Atlanta and in Vegas. Of course, on top of missing training camp, Harden was also violating league safety rules at the same time. Just take a look at this video and see for yourself. As you can see from this video, Harden is partying in a club instead of being in practice, and on top of that, it looks like he might have forgotten that we are in the middle of a pandemic. When Harden was asked about this incident, he claimed that the reason he was in Vegas and Atlanta partying in clubs was because he was training with his trainers. No, I'm not joking, he really had the audacity to say this after he was literally caught on video in the club. Just take a look at his response when he was asked about it.
James, what was the point that you were trying to get across when you went to Atlanta and Vegas when training camp was starting?
I was just training.
What were you training for?
Started the NBA season.
How did going to Atlanta and Vegas help you there when the Rockets were starting training camp in Houston?
Just my personal trainers.
Yes, as ridiculous as it sounds, these are the words that really came out of this man's mouth. But this was only the start of the show that Harden was putting on. Just around last week, it was reported that Harden got into a fight with one of his teammates who was a rookie and reportedly threw a ball in his direction. Think the drama ends there? Well, you're wrong. Just about a week and a half after the first incident, Harden was caught again partying at a club, this time maskless, ignoring the fact that there's literally a pandemic. Just take a look at this video as it's even worse than the first one. Harden then went on to say in an Instagram post, and I quote, that it was a party for his homegirl. Whether this is true or not, they still shouldn't be doing this and going out partying when there is literally a pandemic going on. Now, I'm not trying to be a Karen or anything, but it was extremely irresponsible for Harden to be around so many people like that. Let's just say he was to go and contract the thingy that I can't say on YouTube, he could have easily spread it and single-handedly caused the NBA to shut down. For the latest incident, Harden was only given a $50,000 fine with no suspension. Now, I say only $50,000 a year because Harden makes $43 million a year. So it's not like this fine, which to him is only a few bucks, is going to change the current mindset that he's in. Now, when Adam Silver was asked why this was the only punishment that Harden got, he basically claimed that since it was Christmas, he was letting Harden off the hook. So looking back at all these incidents, you could definitely make a fair argument that Harden has pretty much lost his mind. But that leads to the question, why? Why is Harden doing all of this? What is his reasoning behind it? Well, if you've been keeping up with the news recently, Harden has reportedly wanted to get traded to a contender and even gave the Rockets a list of teams that he prefers to get traded to. The Rockets, however, have yet to make a decision on whether or not they will trade him or not, as Harden is expected to start the season with the Rockets. So if Harden is doing all of this just to get traded, I think it's very fair that we come out to say that he's going way too far. Harden's decisions are not only hurting the Rockets, but they're also hurting his own personal name as well. Harden has pretty much shown that he is not a good leader for a team. As a team who would want to trade for Harden, it would be very concerning to me if Harden's doing all this crazy stuff. While we're also on the topic of team, aside to throwing a ball at a rookie during practice like we mentioned before, Harden has reportedly also been getting into fights with many of his Rocket teammates, and tensions between Harden and his teammates have reportedly been through the roof recently. Once again, James Harden has shown that he's clearly not being a good guy, clearly not being a good leader, and clearly not being a good teammate. Now I understand that if he really wants out of Houston, that's one thing, but doing all this to show it is not the way to go. James Harden is supposedly supposed to be a leader, but leaders just don't do stuff like this. Once again, who knows where Harden's mind is at if he has to go to a strip club instead of going to practice and focus on winning a championship. We never hear these types of things about some of the top players such as LeBron or Curry, but with Harden, it's a completely different story. Believe it or not, but Harden has gone to a strip club so much that they literally have his jersey retired there. In a sense, it is funny, but at the same time, it's also ridiculous, and that is not the type of leader that I want leading my basketball team. Nowadays, when people talk about the Rockets, all they talk about is a potential James Harden trade instead of talking about what kind of team the Rockets can be with Harden, Wall, and Cousins. To me, this is just a shame on Harden, as he pretty much has given up on a Rockets team with so much potential in such an inappropriate manner. So whether Harden ends up leaving or staying in Houston, I definitely think these actions won't be forgotten, and he definitely won't be looked upon as a decent person anymore. To all the people who are watching this who are Harden fans, I'm sorry for bashing Harden like this, but it came to a point where it just had to be done. I still do think Harden is easily a top 5 player basketball-wise, but everything else not basketball-wise about him, I'm just not a fan of. And that's all for today's video, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you didn't like and subscribe already, I'd really appreciate it if you do. And to give back to all you guys for all your recent support, like I mentioned earlier, I am doing a jersey giveaway. All you have to do to join is join our NBA group chat. It is hosted on an amazing app called Flick, and to enter, all you have to do is literally just join the discussion in the chat, and I will be choosing a random message from the chat as our winner. The link to join the chat will be below in the description of this video, and with all that being said, once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it and hope to see you all in the next video.